Good morning to all. We are discussing the grammar and we discuss about the context-free grammar. So, what exactly is the difference between the finite automata and the grammar? That also we have discussed. Your finite automata works as a language acceptor or language recognizer, whereas the grammar acts as the language generator. Means with the help of the production rules defined in the grammar, you can create or one can create the number of strings, and from that particular the string is nothing but the language we are generating. That's why it is called that grammar is nothing but the generator, generator, whereas your automata is just to accept the language or to recognize a particular language. Now coming to our context free grammar, why it is called as a context free? Already that we have discussed that on the left hand side, grammar basically consists of two main components, that is non-terminal int and the terminal t. The variable component is nothing but your non-terminal, and the terminal, they are actually taking part in the formation of the string. So terminal strings. So we from the given grammar, we are obtaining the strings of string of terminal symbols, and the terminal symbol, they are represented with the help of small case letter, whereas non-terminal symbol, they are represented with the help of your capital letters. The grammar always starts with a symbol S, and the grammar consists of multiple production rules, and you can derive the grammar in two way. Either you have the left derivation or you have the right derivation. Means starting from the right non-terminal derivation will be start there, or you can start the derivation with the left non-terminal, right? So and another, so that is called a sequential form of the representation of the grammar. Another form is nothing but your parse tree representation. You can represent the grammar in the form of tree, right? And after that we have seen the examples on the grammar. Suppose the grammar is given, so how to define the language for the given grammar, so grammar is given, then we need to find out the strings, we need to find out the multiple number of strings. Once we find out the strings, then it will be very easy to define the language for that particular grammar. Now in this today's lecture, we are going to discuss that the language is given to us and we have to write down the grammar, right? So means exactly the reverse way we have to go here. Means here the generate write a grammar for generating the strings containing any number of a's over sigma, input sigma equal to a. Means it consists of only one input alphabet, that is nothing but a, and we then we have to generate the grammar for the strings containing any number of a, So up till now, what we seen in the examples we have seen so far, that is nothing but the grammar is given to us. For example, S gives you capital A B, then capital A gives say for example small a, and capital B gives small b. So like this way, the production rules are given. From this production rule, what our procedure is to derive the terminal strings, and from the terminal strings obtain, we conclude that this is the particular language, is that right? But here we have to go exactly in the reverse way. The language is given to us, and it is asked to find out, or define the grammar rule. Means we have to define the grammar. Means we have to identify the rules, right? And it is very simple. So one point is that there is no fixed way. There is no formula. There is no any method. Yes, if the language is given and how to define the grammar for that particular language. But if you solve multiple example by practicing the example, you will automatically come to know that yes, it is very simple. Though there is no fixed format for solving such type of example, but yes, we can go for it. Right. So see it carefully. So zero number of A's can be generated using the production rule, as you know that. So zero number of A's can be given with the help of the production. Capital S, we start with very simple one, gives epsilon. And if we want one or more A's, we can generate the rule like this. For example, S gives us 1A, that S gives 1A, that is nothing but only one occurrence of A. And if you want to find out the multiple occurrences of A, you can have the another rule, S gives you AS, right? So means start with a very simple basic one, and you can now expand this grammar. So we can write, combining the the rules, we can have S gives us A, then S also produces AS and S also produces epsilon. So this particular grammar, it is written for the language. The language is defined like that. This particular language generate the strings containing any number of A, containing any number of A. See here, no method, there is a no any steps are there. One can say that there is a no formula, it is not there, but we have to understand depending upon our interpretation, depending upon our logic, we have to write down it. So what is asked in the question? Any number of A. So any number of A start with zero number of A. So zero number of A production you can write like this. Then for one number of A, you can have the production S gives you small a, and for multiple number of S gives you AS. S gives you AS. So if I draw the automata for this, so I can have Q0, and this is nothing but the final state, and this is A. So this generates only a single A. But if I want multiple occurrences of A, I can have the self loop of A. So this is the thing. So this grammar is nothing but your S A oblique AS. Getting this point? So this is the way. So if it is automata representation, but it is not asking the question, we have to simply give the grammar rules here, right? Hence, we can represent the grammar as G into bracket. These are nothing but your variables. These are nothing but your terminal S. Non-terminal S. That is terminal A and epsilon. So S gives you AS, S gives you A, and S gives you epsilon, and S is your non-terminal. So grammar is defined like this. So let us try for string A. So you have to check. You have to check once this grammar which we have defined, whether it produces the exact result which is being asked in the question, whether this particular grammar which we have defined just now is producing the correct result or not. So start deriving the grammar again. Start deriving the grammar. So S produces AS. Now replace the definition of S by AS again. Now again replace the definition of S by single A. So yes, definitely it produces this particular grammar. So from this particular string, we can conclude that you can have multiple number of A. So this particular grammar able to produce the strings containing any number of zeros. Getting this point? So this is the way. I mean, slowly you will get understand how to solve such type of examples. And today we are going to see discuss all such type of examples here. Right. So let us go for the another one. Write a grammar. Again, the question for the language represented by regular expression. Now here regular expression is given a plus b bracket raised to star, and as you know that a plus b bracket raised to star means there is a occurrence of any number of occurrences of a and any number of occurrences of b, right? So for this we can write the regular expression a plus b bracket raised to star represented a regular language containing. Now language is defined. Now here in the previous example the language is given. Now here in this particular example the regular expression is given. See the difference. In the earlier example, the language given that the language consists of strings having any number of A's. Now the language represented by the regular expression. See here, the regular expression is given a plus b. So what is the language for a plus b bracket raised to star? The language is nothing but it contains any number of a and b. Yes, everybody know that a plus b bracket raised to star means it is the language containing any number of a's and b's. So for this particular language, we can write a grammar as gives you in a simple way. Very simple. Any number of A can be written by this S gives you AS, and any number of B can be written by this particular production rule, that is S gives you B capital S and finally the epsilon sign, right? So if we want grammar for A plus B, that is strings containing at least one occurrence of A or B, so it will be, so if we want a grammar for A plus B bracket raised to plus, that is strings containing at least one occurrence of A or B, so we can have S gives you S produces BS, or S produces A, or S produces B, means at least one A it should produce here. At least one A or at least one B it should produce in this particular with the help of this particular production rules. Getting this point? So this is the way. Now next example. Write a grammar generating all strings consisting of A's and B's with at least two A's. Here, write a grammar generating all strings such that A and B So it consists of two alphabet, that is A and B. So we can have input alphabet equal to, so there are two alphabets A comma B, and the strings are such a way that at least 2A must be there. At least 2A must be there, but their location is not given, so it is not said that they are consecutive A, or one cannot say the number of B is not fixed here. So these are the consideration, or these are the probabilities. Yes, it is not mentioned that the A must be consecutive one. No, there must be only two A, at least two A are there, and B number of B, it is also not mentioned. So try to solve it. Above language can be represented by a regular expression. So we can write a regular expression for this. A plus B bracket raised to star dot A, concatenation of A dot A plus B bracket raised to star dot A plus B bracket raised to star, right? So we first write down the regular expression. Once you write down the regular expression, then it is very easy to write the production rules of the grammar. So for this particular regular expression, we can write the rules. Therefore, the grammar generating the language can be written as S gives, say for example, S, capital S gives capital A, small a, capital A, small a, capital A, where capital A is nothing but your non-terminal, and you have to again define this non-terminal. So two non-terminal we have taken here. That first is nothing but your start symbol S, and another non-terminal is nothing but our capital A. And these two A is, these are nothing but the compulsory A. These two A means these are the at least two A, at least two A are there, right? So these are the compulsory A here. So that's why they are taken here. So uh, for definition of A, I can write like this. For definition of A can be defined like this: A, capital A is capital A, and A, B, capital A, B dot capital A, and A can also give, A can also produces the empty string or the epsilon. So this is the grammar. This is the grammar for the strings consisting of A and B with at least two A, with at least two A. Sorry, suppose if we want to solve this grammar, so let us solve it here. Suppose let us check whether this grammar is correct or not. So A and A. So let us try to derive it. So definition of A, I will first put it epsilon. So if I put it epsilon, so definitely I will get here 2A. Okay, this is the first case. Now second case is nothing but again take the start symbol. Now start deriving it A. Now take the definition of A here. This one I will take here for the first A. So then this A. And now if I take this A 3A as make it as epsilon, so I will take here, I will get here triple A. This small a will be there. So definitely there are at least two A are there, right? Suppose again third time if I try to solve it, suppose capital A, small a, capital A, small a, capital A, derive it, that is equal to, and if I take this one BA, so for first A, if I put B, A, 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 then again it will get here B. So A, for this A, suppose I can put A, or I can put here epsilon. Epsilon means no string will be there. So A, for remaining A also I put here epsilon for this A, and for this capital A. So I'll get here BAA. So whatever may be the combinations we'll do here, but for all the strings will get at least two occurrences of A. Whether they are consecutive A or no, they may not be consecutive A, but definitely we'll get the 2A, which is at least 2A, which is asked in the question. Getting this point. So we can conclude that yes, the grammar we have defined here CFG for the language which is correct, right? So observe it carefully. So first we have written the regular expression. From the regular expression, it becomes simple one to define the grammar rules, right? We'll consider the next example, number 4. Write a grammar for the language containing at least one occurrences of double A. At least one occurrences of double A over sigma equal to A comma B. Now see here. Now here one occurrences of double A. This question is different as compared to the previous one. The question, this particular question is different as compared to previous. Why? The earlier one, there is a 2A must be there. At least 2A must be there in the string, but here the occurrence of double A must be there. One occurrence of double A means you must have these two consecutive A in the string. You must have two consecutive A in the string. Will follow the method using this particular regular expression. Same method will follow here. First, write down the regular expression A plus B bracket raised to star concatenation or dot operator double A dot into bracket A plus B bracket raised to star. Right. The grammar can be written as, for this grammar we can write this. So for this A plus B bracket raised to star, we will have one X. So one non-terminal is defined here X. Double A will as it is, and for this last term we will define with capital X again. Now we have to define the capital X and this capital X the same way. In the earlier example, we defined like a capital A. So A dot capital X and B dot capital X and epsilon as it is. So let us derive string B, double B, triple A, B. And what we want at least one occurrence of double A. Yes, there is one occurrence of A is there. So we don't have to go, or we have to just derive this string. So let us start deriving this string. S gives us X, X, take this first production rule. Then now replace this X by the definition Bx. So I'll replace this Bx here, right? Then now next is nothing but this X further replaced by Bx here. Further this X is now replaced by its definition Bx production rule. See here now X is replaced by epsilon. So X is replaced by epsilon means here is no string is entered here. That is equal to double B, double A and X. And now X is replaced by this particular X is replaced by AX. Means this rule, this production rule. And finally X is replaced by BX. This it is replaced by BX, capital BX. And finally you can replace this B with the empty string so that you will get the resultant string. Getting this point? So meaning is that at least one occurrences of A in the sense that we can have A plus B bracket raised to star, means at the start you can have any number of A and any number of B, but this particular string must contain the at least double A. These two letters must be there in the string, and A plus B bracket raised to star means at the end also any number of A and any number of B are possible. Getting this point? And we have written this grammar. See it carefully how this it is written. S is equal to, or S gives us X double A X. Then X is defined with these three rules. X gives AX, X gives BX, and X gives empty string epsilon. Right, and we check it with this particular string. This string is taken for the verification purpose whether this grammar is correct or not, or we have verified it and we found it is correct. Right, so this is the way how to solve such type of examples. Let us go to the next example, number 5. Write a CFG, context free grammar, to generate the language of all strings that have more A's than B's. Now read it carefully, read the example carefully. We have to generate the language of all strings such that they have more A's than B, means number of A must be greater than number of B. So number one necessarily only more, but any number of more A's than B. Right. So meaning is that number of A must be greater than number of B. So how to write a grammar for this? Let us see here. So what exactly the string? So first write down the string. So how to write down the string? So A, double AB means at least one occurrence of A is greater, at least one A. So if number of B is 1, so number of A are 2. So number of B is 1 here, so number of A are 2 here. Number of B is 1, number of A are 2. So here number of A are 4, B is equal to 0 here. In this case also B equal to 0, A equal to 2. Here also B equal to 0, A equal to 1. In this case 4, A equal to 4 and B equal to 1. So we have to take care that number of A must be greater than, and their position is not fixed. Means it is not mentioned that at least 2 double A are there or at least 2 A are there. That is not fixed. Position is not fixed. So don't bother about their position or the pattern of the string. You can have this one. You can have double AB. You can have B. You can have BAA. See here. These are the three patterns here itself. Three patterns are here itself. It consists of 2A and 1B. So 2A and 1B can be organized in this way: double AB, ABA, or you can have B double A, B double A, right? So this is there, or this is there, or this may be the format of the strings, right? So the required grammar can be written as X, capital X, gives us here directly it is written here capital YS, capital SY, capital YSY, and capital Y. Now these are all non-terminal, all non-terminals are taken here: capital Y, capital S, capital S, capital Y. So Y is the terminal, non-terminal we have to define. So S is defined. So S also we have defined. So S is defined with this A, B, capital B, and it also produces B dot capital A. And X, A we have to define here. A is defined like this: A small a, AS, B, A. This is the way to define the A. And B, production rule for B is defined: B produces B, B produces BS, and B produces AB, B. Whereas Y we have to define AY and A, AY and A. So Y produces A, capital Y, and Y also produces small a. Right. So definitely we are getting the string. We are getting the string here. At least one A, at least number of A must be greater than by number one at least from the letter B, and start with X. So here it is mentioned that you have to always start your production with symbol X. So the rules are written like this: X produces the rules 1, 2, 3, 4 rules are defined for the capital symbol X. Two rules: AB, BA by the S, then A, AS, BAA by capital A, B, BS, capital, this is capital S of course, and then A, BB by capital B, and AY, and finally A must be there by capital Y. And why this A is taken as a terminal? Because finally we must get the as nothing but your A is nothing but your terminal symbol, right? And start with X symbol instead of starting with S. This grammar produces the number. This grammar produces the strings in such a way that number of A shall be greater by the number of B's as compared to number of B's. Okay, now the regular expression is given here, and it is asked to define the grammar. So write down the context grammar for the expression. The first expression AB, we have to write down the production rules for AB. Then A star dot B star, A star dot B star is there. Then BAA plus ABB means OR operator. This is your OR operator. So this is the string one. So B dot A plus means this is the concatenation. This is the concatenation is here. Then OR A dot B bracket complete. So for this three one, this is the first one. This is the second one. This is the third regular expression. Regular expressions are given. So for this regular expression, we have to write down the grammar. We have to write down the grammar. So see here how it is written. First one, the required regular expression for AB star. So I think it is AB star. It is like this. So S gives A, capital B gives you B, and B, capital B, and also gives the epsilon as a one to production tool. So B produces capital small b, B produces BB, and B also produces your empty string. So these are the two rules for AB raised A and B raised A dot B raised to star. The same way we can write the required grammar for CFG for A star dot B star. Now it is written S use capital AB, means we have to define both these non-terminal. So here you have to take care that how many non-terminals you are taking in your grammar. So the all non-terminal must have at least one terminal. They must be defined. They must end up in a simple word. Capital B must end somewhere in B, small b, right? So that it will be completely derived. If you don't write any not if you don't write any terminal here, so it gives error. So your terminal will be in a loop. It will enter into infinite loop. So non-terminal produces non-terminal again and again and again. You are just putting the definition of B again instead of B. Again we are putting B instead of B. But that particular non-terminal must be stopped somewhere. So that's why you have to define the terminal for that particular non-terminal, so that there must be end of that particular string. S gives you AB, capital A. So A here, and it produces empty string. No doubt it is an empty one, and B capital B will be, you have the B dot capital B, and it also produces an empty string. So that is nothing but, so why this is? Because this is because it is any number of A and any number of B. Means either A may be 0 or A may be multiple number of times. It may be any number of A and any number of B. So the required CFG for BAA plus A BB double B bracket raised to star, it is given like this. S gives here, S gives AS and BS and epsilon. So we have to define the A. So A is defined. So just take this string as it is. So capital A is written as a B A A, and capital B is written as A B B. So directly we can take here. So with this particular equation, S equal to AS will get the required regular expression, or the required language, which is also defined by the regular expression, and S is always the start symbol here. Construct the CFG for the language containing at least one occurrence of double A. At least one occurrence of double A. Positions are not fixed. Whether they are consecutive or not, that is also not mentioned here. So we can write the logic here. The CFG can be built with a logic such that one rule we will build for a double A as A capital A produces double A. Right? Capital A produces double A, because it is asked to find out that the language must contain the string having the double A. Right? Then the other rule we will build for any number of A's. For any number of A's and B's in combination, we can have B, any number of A and B that produces AB, B produces BB, and B produces epsilon for any number of A and B. This is for this one, A plus B bracket raised to star. So the final grammar, so if we combine above rules, we will get the desired grammar here, context free grammar. So here, S gives, so S, capital S, how it is defined, B dot A dot B, non-terminal, non-terminal, and non-terminal. So the first B gives anything. Anything means what? Anything means any number of A and any number of B. That's why this B is put here. Then A. So capital A indicates that double A. That is nothing but one occurrence of double A. One occurrence of double A. Fine. And capital B, it is anything. Anything means again it is nothing but your A plus B bracket raised to star. Here also A plus B bracket raised to star, and here one occurrence of A. So the string will be like this, right? And capital A, again we have to write capital A is nothing but the two terminals. Then capital B is defined like this, AB, BB, and epsilon symbol, right? The next one, construct a CFG, that is context free grammar, for the language in which has all the strings which are all palindrome. Means we have to find out we have to find out the strings, they are in a palindrome form. They are in a palindrome form, right? Palindrome form means what? MADAM, for example. So if you scan it from left hand side, or if you reverse the string from this side, so reverse string also gives the same string here. Means the string which is equal to the reverse of that particular string, that is called as the palindrome, right? So here we want production rules to be built as A and B. So we can write a production rule as capital S, S gives here carefully, produces A, SA, B, SB, A and B, and epsilon symbol, and epsilon symbol. So a very simple line, in a one line it is defined like this. So you can take any string, and you can start deriving this S. You will definitely get the string with a palindrome A and B. The palindrome string will get here with the help of this production rule. Next example is construct the CFG for the language in which there are no consecutive B's. The strings may or may not have consecutive A. So no consecutive B, and may or may not have consecutive A means what? B's are not consecutive definitely, but A may be consecutive means you have 2A or you may not have 2A within that particular string. So the grammar is defined for such a language. There is no condition on occurrences of on A, but no consecutive B's are allowed here. Consecutive B's are not allowed here. So how to write? The rules are written in a single line. So S gives you A, S capital A, whereas it also produces B capital A. Also produces capital A, S also produces A, small a, and also produces small b, and S also gives the epsilon symbol. This also gives the epsilon symbol here. So with this grammar, the language, we can have these strings generated, which are nothing but define the language having no consecutive b, and the A may be consecutive or A may not be a consecutive one with this particular production rule. So how many rules are there? Rule number one, rule number two, rule number three, rule number four, and rule number five rules are defined here. Getting this point? So this is slightly some different example as compared to the previous one. So the here the language is given and it is asked to define the grammar. In the earlier case, the grammar was given and we have to find out the string, and once we find out the string, we are able to define the language for that particular string, right? So see it carefully, just go through it once again so that you will get more clear about it. Okay. So the outcome, what we have learned in particular session is the examples on context-free grammar. There the language is given and it is asked to write down the production rules of the context-free grammar. The attainment outcome is to apply the well-defined rules for syntax verification. The book references and okay, so let us stop here for this today's session.